I've done it, you've done it, everybody has done it at some point during its PowerPoint presentation. And sometimes this mistake can ruin completely your presentation. And even worse, can put you in a very embarrassing situation. Now, if you want to repeat this mistake again, you can very well skip this video. But if you don't want to repeat it anymore, and if you want to see the solution and the implementation, then stay with me and let's watch first the 3 examples to acknowledge very well this common mistake. In the first example, you want to present a quiz. Then you are providing the QR code to the audience and then they will scan it and will try to respond to the questions. But then for whatever reason, you are touching the space keyboard or you are scrolling the mouse wheel or you just simply give the wrong click. And then, boom! The right answer is being revealed at the wrong moment. What an embarrassing situation! A second example, a similar situation. This time you have provided to your audience just a small portion of a picture and you want to see if they are capable of recognizing the picture. So you are providing them the QR code and then boom again and revealing the correct answer in the wrong manner. What's a shame! Finally, a third example is where you have put a lot of work. You have created 20 plus animations and you want to present now live your diagram synchronized with your animations. But unfortunately, due to a wrong maneuver, you are again displaying the entire diagram at the wrong moment, blowing up completely your efforts. Now, to understand the solution that I'm proposing to you to avoid making this mistake in the future, let's see the different type of setup that Microsoft PowerPoint offers for the slideshow. We have 3 possibilities with the setup. One is presented by a speaker in full screen. The second is browsed by an individual in window form. And the third, browsed at Kiosk in full screen. Let's see now the pros and the cons of each one of the 3 setups. Presented by a speaker is a default setup, which has the advantage of being able to advance the slides without having to implement different links. And with this setup, you can also trigger animations with the mouse click. The big con is that you can accidentally reveal other slide content in the wrong moment. Browsed by an individual has the advantage that you can present something else in parallel with the PowerPoint presentation without having to escape the presentation and aborting the animations. And also in this setup, the triggered animations on a mouse click are still functioning. The disadvantage is that you won't use the entire screen size, so everything might appear a little bit smaller on the screen. But still, this can be a significant problem only if you have very small objects. Browsed at Kiosk has the main advantage that you can't accidentally revealing other slides content, but it comes with 2 main cons. One is that the triggered animations on mouse click won't work anymore, and the second is that you will have to manually create different connections between the slides, otherwise you won't be in the position to access the other slides in full presentation mode. I'm gonna change the setup now, so go to slideshow and then click on the slideshow setup and then select browsed at Kiosk. You will see that I won't be able to terminate the animations by giving a click. And then when they will naturally end, I won't be able to use the return to zoom function. And I will be blocked here if I don't have other connections. Some of you might say now, if I will go with the third setup, it's going to be too complicated for me. It's going to take a lot of time and effort, so I would rather prefer the risks to make these errors again. But what if I'm gonna tell you, and I'm also going to prove it to you, that in less than 60 seconds, you will be able to make this setup work, and also you will be able to avoid making these mistakes again. How does this sound? Don't trust me? Let's see this. Let me put first the counter, 60 seconds. So you just have to insert two shapes, one at the bottom right that will allow you to advance to the next slide, and the other at the bottom left that will allow you to return to a previous slide. You can leave them visible, but I don't like that, so I prefer to make them invisible for the audience. So, format shape, no outline, and then from the format shape, select no fill. Then, for the right shape, click Insert, Action, Hyperlink to, and then we will select the next slide. And then repeat the same process with the left shape, just that this time we're going to select the previous slide. Now we just have to copy and paste the two shapes on all the other slides and job done in less than 60 seconds. Now let's see everything in full presentation mode. You won't be able to advance and reveal the correct answer by hitting the space key, scrolling the mouse wheel, or giving as many clicks as you want. You will be able to advance only if you will click on the invisible shape at the bottom right. You will always be in the position to return to a previous slide if you will press the left hidden shape. Now let's make the demo for the entire presentation. I can't advance to slide number 2 without clicking on the right hidden shape. In slide 2, I can't advance to slide 3 other than clicking on the right hidden shape. The same happens on slide number 3, so I can't reveal the right answer at the wrong moment. On slide 5, I can't rush the animations, and I can only advance to slide 6 by giving the click on the shape. And then the same to advance on all the other slides of the presentation. On the last slide, with a click, the presentation won't end, so you will have to end it by pressing the escape keyboard. While if I will click on the right shape, then I will go back to slide number 1. While on slide number 1, if I will click on the left hidden shape, then I will return to the last slide. And then by pressing the escape key, we will be able to get out from the full presentation mode. Okay, some of you might now say, okay, we can't advance by touching the space key, or we can't advance by scrolling the mouse wheel. But what if the mouse cursor is on top of the hidden shape and accidentally we again give a click? Of course, in this situation, compared with the initial situation, we have just 10% chances of making these mistakes. But still, there are these 10% chances, right? Don't worry, I got you covered with these two, because by adding an additional solution, you will have 0% chances to repeat this mistake again. How does it work? Let's see. It involves not having these shapes being initially visible and clickable. So, since in this setup, triggering an animation with the mouse click is disabled, you will have to use an existent element on the slide that will trigger these invisible shapes that will help you advance through the next slides. So let's create an example for the first slide. I will select both of the invisible shapes, and then temporarily I will fill them again with a color to have this feature even more obvious. And then click on Animations, then Appear Animation, and then go to Trigger, then on Click Off, and then select the question which represents the big rectangle. Now in full presentation mode, as you can see, I don't have on the left and on the right any clickable shape, so I can't advance by mistake to the next slide. I will click on the question rectangle, and then the clickable shapes will appear, and only then I can click on them and advance to the next slide. In this case, you will have now 0% chances to reveal a slide content at the wrong moment. Now we can eliminate the fill and make them invisible again. and watch again the process in full presentation mode. They are not visible and clickable. So let's trigger them, and now we can click on them to advance to the next slide. Now, if you want to share with us some of your past experiences with this mistake, then please take a moment and write them in the comments. I really hope this video has provided to you a very high added value, and in the future you won't make these kind of mistakes anymore. And if you are curious to discover other interesting videos, then our channel has a lot to offer. You just have to discover them. My friends, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next episodes. Goodbye, my friends.